What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. It seems like some rogue employees, both at the FBI and at FEMA, are not having a good day at all. In fact, the mass firings have begun because it seems like apparently these people at these government agencies, quite frankly, are just used to doing whatever the heck they want, whenever the heck they want to do it. And I understand why they act that way. I legitimately do. Joe Biden was asleep at the wheel for the last 4 years. Big deep state government does whatever it is they want to do, and they're not used to having any consequences at all for anything they do. Well, now that President Trump is in and Elon Musk has access to all this data, which is wild how quickly, I almost think that there's like some whistleblowers who are saying, hey, look here, look there. Because at the rate he's finding stuff is actually bonkers. But you may have seen the report yesterday that, remember how FEMA said, you're crazy. We're not giving American tax dollars to illegal immigrants. That's crazy talk. We would never do that. Well, it turns out not only were they doing that, but they were doing that likely to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars funneled into hotels around this country to clothe, feed, and house these illegal criminals. Of your tax dollars, by the way. Wouldn't you have liked to keep those to pay your heating bill this winter, or your car bill, or your repair bill? And this is bonkers. So yesterday, even after Trump said, okay, no more payments for anything, 4 FEMA employees decided that they know better than you and the president. They are going to spend your money how they want to. And they issued a $60 million payment to various hotels to cover the cost of illegal housing illegals. Now, again, remember FEMA, the Joe Biden administration, Karine Jean-Pierre, the little redhead lady, they all said you were crazy that this wasn't happening. I remember when they sent $700 to the hurricane victims, and then the $700 to LA fire victims, and that they said FEMA was broke and they needed more money. Well, I wonder if these employees were getting kickbacks. That's what my question is. And I expect not just the firing, I expect them to go to prison. This is a different era. I'm not saying Trump will follow through on this, but it's my expectations that they go to prison. They stole fizzy lifting drink. I mean, $60 million in U.S. taxpayer dollars, and they sent it to their buddies at these hotels. That's how it looks to me. Now, 4 employees have now been fired for circumventing leadership and unilaterally making an egregious payment for hotels for migrants in New York City. That's just New York. How about the ones in San Francisco, Oakland, everywhere in California? How about the ones in Ohio? How about the ones in Wisconsin? How about the ones in Texas? How many of these hotels were getting paid probably triple their nightly rate to house illegal immigrants? The massive payment was blasted by Elon Musk, whose new Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, highlighted the transaction on Monday. The money is meant to be for American disaster relief, and instead is being spent at high-end hotels for illegals. Musk posted on X on Monday and promised DOGE would be making a clawback demand to recoup those funds, meaning, sorry, you were awarded those funds unlawfully, we're taking them back. Cameron Hamilton, FEMA's acting administrator, said in response that FEMA had suspended payments sent to New York City and house migrants beginning on Monday. New York City's City Hall officials have said that they had not been notified of any pause in funding and no one had contacted them regarding Musk's clawback demand. Officials also denying Musk's assertions that the cash went to luxury hotels without specifically naming the billionaire. Only $19 million of the $59 million that Elon Musk said in his tweet will be going to housing migrants in hotels. Oh my God! Well, geez, leave a like button if you leave a like on this video if you just realized that you had overreacted. Golly gee, I should just probably end the video right here. It was only $19 million set to house illegal immigrants. $19 million. for however small of a period of time that was. But again, Joe Biden lied to America. The speaker, the White House speaker, lied to America and said that FEMA funds weren't going. Well, who cares? It was only 19 million, not 60 million. We've already spent over $7 billion on this crisis alone. That doesn't make it better either, you idiot. And the previous administration committed only $237 million in U.S. tax dollars. So again, I live in Wisconsin. I pay federal tax. My money is going to New York. My money is going to California sanctuary cities who are choosing to ignore illegal immigrants so that they can stay in a 4-star hotel that I can't even afford to stay in. How does that make you feel? And the funniest part about this is that the mainstream media is covering this like everyday Americans are going to be like, oh, Trump bad. You're kidding, right? Nobody in America thinks that our tax dollars should be going to illegal immigrants. None. Not the $6,000 or whatever debit cards, not the 4-star hotels, not the 3 meals a day, not the cell phones, none of this crap. Go home. I'm not paying for, if George Soros wants to pay for you, that's fine. If Ariana Grande wants to pay to house you, fine. But I do not. I will not. I do not want my tax dollars going towards this. And when the president of the United States and his administration lies to the American people, they belong in prison. The money is authorized by funding by Congress and is separate from disaster relief, which is FEMA's main funding stream. Well, you can't tell me that only $19 million couldn't have gone a long way to hurricane relief, right? Tricia McLaughlin, a spokesperson for DHS, declined to answer. Gee, I wonder why. This is big senior DHS official. This big senior DHS official has just confirmed me that FEMA's chief financial officer, Mary Comins, was just fired for illegally funding migrant luxury hotels in NYC against the orders of the president. Gee, a white liberal woman. What are the odds? Comins is arguably the most powerful person at FEMA, controlling billions of dollars in funding. Effective immediately, FEMA is terminating the employment of 4 individuals for circumventing leadership to unilaterally make egregious payments for luxury NYC hotels for migrants. Firings include FEMA's chief financial officer, 2 program analysts, and a grant specialist. I don't want them just fired. I want them in prison. You stole my money. And if you're not an American and you're like in the UK or Canada or whatever, I'm sure you feel the same way if it was your tax dollars. You know what I mean? I didn't agree to this. Under President Trump, the Secretary Noem's leadership, DHS will not sit idly by and allow deep state activists to undermine the will and the safety of the American people. This is an earthquake. Yeah, I mean, I would say, if she knew what she was doing, they never learn until there's jail time. There's a lot more going on to this corrupt NYC for years. Find out everyone's been getting kickbacks. I'm telling you, I've been saying it for years. A post from Johnny St. Pete, and I agree. I believe these people were getting kickbacks. I don't know that. I can't say that as a fact, but I believe that they were. There's a reason that people in Congress are worth $500 million when their salary is $200,000 a year. What do you think that is? FEMA sent $59 million last week to NYC hotels. I'll stand by what I said years and months ago. Follow the money, and you will see it's not just luxury hotels. You will find that these people are connected to Democrats. It's crony capitalism. I wouldn't be surprised if there were Republicans on the take either. There are also the same people who forced the city to pass legislation because they couldn't compete with Airbnb. The hotel lobby was losing a fortune, and the average consumer was saving a fortune, so they passed a law to essentially ban it within the 5 boroughs. This isn't just the only agency, right? FEMA halts migrant housing funds in New York City after Musk's criticism. It's not just Musk's criticism. I think pretty much everybody agrees that that's crazy. And I want to know how much in total was sent. I don't want to just know, oh, this one payment for 19 million. I'm sorry, only 19 million. I want to know how much in total was sent, and I want those people in prison. Now, here, Kristi Noem says, get rid of FEMA the way it exists entirely today. Kristi Noem defends Musk and Doge access to FEMA data. Audit of the federal government. Can and should Donald Trump shut it down? CNN's Dana Bash asked Kristi Noem. He can, and I believe that he will do that evaluation with his team, Kristi Noem said, and he's talking about, which I'm grateful for. He'll work for Congress through, though, and make sure it's done correctly, and then we're still out there, folks who need help when there's a terrible disaster or a crisis in their life. I mean, you can't just shut it down immediately until you can set up these systems at the state. But you could set a sunsetting system and say, hey, states have 18 months to set up their own programs, and FEMA is effectively closed. The next 18-month salary of FEMA will be spent on training state-level employees, sharing connections, passing funds from the federal government back to the states, things of that nature. I mean, Noem said of Trump has been clear. He still wants to help people, but condemned FEMA for targeting individuals, helping some and not helping others. I mean, we know that there was a whistleblower that said FEMA staff was told to skip over Trump supporter houses. We know that happened. This is not, this is not a question. This is not a hypothesis. Noem also referenced how Trump managed to close 80% of open FEMA cases in North Carolina in just a week. It's amazing when you have somebody who actually cares how quickly response can be. Good riddance to FEMA. I hope he announces its complete closure immediately, or at least, plans to sunset it. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.